Hello. I'm gonna wait a little bit until we get some more people. You can see we only have 3 people. Hi everyone. Hi Mubi. Cutie Mubi. I know it's Mubi, Cutie Mubi. I could see that's your name. How are you? It's so good to have you. I'll just be, just a few minutes until some people join. I think that people will receive a notification. Just, people are not always on time. So just give them a bit of time. Hey, Ruhi, how are you? So glad you made it. Oh, thank you. I'm so excited about this. This is the first live stream on YouTube, so I'm excited. I did one yesterday on TikTok. It was funny. Hey, Ray, how are you? So I thought that, TikTok will be super easy. All I did was just go live, and then suddenly my photo went into an animation. It was some sort of filter. I must have pressed something by mistake, and I was on animation. It was like it's a cartoon character. I couldn't figure out how to remove it. It was hilarious. Hi, Allison. How are you? I'm so excited too, Raya. I won't keep you guys too long. I'll start because I think it's already 8:02. Okay, so we'll begin. Ready to manifest, yes. And anyone else who's on here, please just say hi so we'll know who's there. Well, you don't have to. If you don't want to say anything, that's fine as well. Okay, so tonight the topic of the session is how you're creating in every moment. And this is the topic that people really misunderstand because they don't see a link between how the reality is showing up, how the reality is, and how they have actually created that. Hi, Nohad, how are you? So it's really all about linking the two together because a lot of the time people just can't see how they're connected. So going into how it is that we're creating in every moment, this runs at 3 levels really. And the first level is always the assumptions that the beliefs and assumptions that we have. The beliefs and assumptions are, when law of attraction first, became mainstream. I mean, it's been always there, but people more and more people started to know about it was probably when The Secret came out around that time. And the idea then was that your thoughts create. The thing is, it's not just your thoughts that create, it's your beliefs that create. And many times these are unconscious. You are not conscious of the fact that you're holding these assumptions or beliefs to be true. So it's not so much that I thought something and it manifested, though that can happen. It's more about the fact that your subconscious thoughts and beliefs and assumptions and programming is what's being manifested in your physical reality. So your physical reality is always a reflection of what's going on in your subconscious mind. And of course, your conscious mind, but it's much more powerful what's going on in your subconscious mind, because your subconscious mind is 10 times more powerful than your conscious mind. So it's not so much as I'm going to think positive thoughts, though that's very helpful for your mental diet, which I'll be talking about. What's more and more important is what's going on in that subconscious mind of yours. You have built assumptions through the years as you have been growing up since you were a little kid, hearing things from people of influence, your teachers, your parents, and then through your own, and then adopting these assumptions and beliefs, and as a result you're actually manifesting them, and then this further reconfirms these as beliefs. You adopt them as true because they're showing up in your reality, not knowing that you actually were the one who created them to begin with. So going into the assumptions, so there we agree that the conscious thoughts, they play a role, and we'll talk about that. But the first and foremost and most powerful are the subconscious thoughts, the subconscious beliefs that you have, the subconscious assumptions that you're making all the time, all the time. And when it comes to your assumptions, they run at three levels, basically three levels. The first and foremost, and probably the most important, relate to are the assumptions you have made about yourself. And these relate to different topics. So you might have a self-concept in relation to love that is super strong, but your self-concept when it comes to work is not that strong. So the assumptions you have about yourself are always varying across different life categories. So it will be in relation to your relationships, they'll be in relation to work, career, making money. Maybe you're very good at your career, but you're not good with money. You don't manage your money really well. So it's in relation to every single area you have assumptions about yourself. And these are all kinds of ideas you believe about yourself for whatever reason. It's not important to dig into that and do therapy and hypnosis and regression and all kinds of things to figure out how you adopted these beliefs, but they are there for some reason. And so some examples of assumptions you may have about yourself, your subconscious beliefs are: I'm not good enough, I'm not smart, I'm not worthy, I'm not deserving, I'm not the right nationality, race, color, gender. It's a whole bunch of ones. I'm not strong enough, I'm not organized enough, I'm too lazy, I'm a procrastinator, I'm not taken seriously. All kinds of things and assumptions you have about yourself that may be really impacting you in that specific life area. So as I mentioned, it differs depending on the life area that we are talking about. Yes, so you notice that even some proverbs or cultural sayings are extremely negative, yet wildly spread as wise, which is destructive. Absolutely. Absolutely, it's like the things we've been hearing since we were really young, like those sayings. Money doesn't grow on trees. Obviously, someone came up with that. Money doesn't grow on trees, or I don't live in a bank. Like when the parents say, I don't live in a bank, or whatever. These are examples for money, but it's in relation to everything. So this is in respect to your assumptions about yourself. We said the assumptions run at three levels. There's also the assumptions you have about other people. So if you're in a relationship, it's the assumption you're making about the other person. If you're at work, it's the assumptions you're making about your colleagues, your bosses, the people you're working with. There's always someone else involved, and you're always making assumptions about these people. Unconsciously you are doing that. Now sometimes you say, well, they showed up this way. Actually, most of the time they show up in your life, or you manifest these people into your life based on your self-concept, as well as based on your assumptions about circumstances in general, which is the third thing we'll talk about. But your assumptions over time you start molding this person with your assumptions about them. So for example, you might have an assumption that they will never change. So you're married, you're with your husband, and you're saying they will never change. That's an assumption you're making about them. You might have an assumption about someone that they're too stubborn, they're stupid, I'm sure some bosses might say this about some, which of course, I don't agree with, but like some people might say this about people they work with. They're stupid. They won't get me. They will never agree. They will never agree to the raise. They will never agree to it. So you're making assumptions about other people all the time as well. And you're actually molding these people, because sometimes you build this sometimes based on your first impressions of them, and you jump to conclusions about them that are absolutely wrong. And sometimes you change, you see that they're not like that, but sometimes you hold on to these beliefs because you also have a self-concept that I'm the sort of person who always attracts horrible men, or I'm the sort of person who always is not appreciated at work. So you're going to manifest people at work who are not going to appreciate you. So it's a kind of a mirror of your own self-concept, your own assumptions. And you're always molding them more and more as you get to know them, because then they reflect back to you your own assumptions, and then obviously you're going to continue to see more and more of that. You're kind of shaping them. You're giving them the cues on how they show up in your reality. You're telling them how they should act. They're supporting actors in your movie. You're the star of this movie. You're the writer, director, producer, and you're the one who is basically telling them how they should behave. The third aspect, so we said assumptions run at 3 levels. We said self-concept, the assumptions about yourself. The second one is assumptions about other people. The third one is assumptions about circumstances in general. So these are general assumptions. They're also independent negative thought forms, ideas that have taken on a life of their own because so many people have collectively bought into them. And so you uphold them, you hold them true. And some of the things are life is hard, or you have to work super hard to make money, which means you're going to have to work super hard to make money. That's an assumption you're making. And so that will be your reality. If you believe life is hard, that's what your life will be. If you believe that there's a lot of hardship in life, that is what your life will be. You can have assumptions in relation to relationships. Men may have an assumption that all women want a rich guy. Women might have an assumption that all men cheat. So these are all ideas and assumptions that you're choosing to uphold. And guess what? That is what you will manifest. Basically, you have an opinion about everything, and that is how it's showing up. And it's okay to have, once they're empowering ideas and thoughts, it's perfect. So if you have an opinion about yourself that you're super smart, that's wonderful. You should have that. If you have an idea about yourself that you can handle anything, you're good. So you can handle anything. It's never a problem. Though you may manifest situations that will require you to handle, but that's a different story. But you're always able to come forth and build positive opinions that are going to help you move forward. Now, of course, I'm not suggesting you go around telling people that you're super smart. That's not the idea. The idea is for you to believe it. That's what the idea. Hi, Fatma. Nice to have you. Yeah, Fatma, you can manifest money without work. You can manifest money out of the blue, but it's all around your belief system. If you believe, and I think we've all been like brought up, especially like if you're older, you've been brought up to believe that you have to work for your money. Nowadays, you post a photo on Instagram, you get paid for it. It's like almost not working. So absolutely, you can manifest money without work. You can maybe some deceased cousin that you never knew about leaves you a lot of money. You don't know how this happens. You absolutely can manifest money without work. Allison, I know that we can make our own rules, but even though I sometimes notice I have an overriding assumption that it takes time to manifest or change my negative beliefs. Absolutely. So that's the part where I'm going to be talking about what it is that you need to do in order to change your assumptions. And sometimes there will be a delay in your physical reality. If in the beginning it might take you time, but as you become more practiced, you start to say, oh yeah, no, that doesn't need to take time. I can instantly shift into a reality that is more preferred. But see, that also comes from programming. So we've been programmed to think that things need time. But I always tell my clients and my followers that it's okay if it's not coming right away. Sometimes you just need a little bit of time to rewire your subconscious mind to build those new assumptions. But ultimately, I totally agree that you can make it into instant manifesting. And I think we all need to learn that you can make instant shifts. After you become more practiced, certainly you can do that. The movie is the same, saying that time is an illusion. Time is not real. And yeah, we all buy into it because that's how physical reality is set up, is we're having this, the concept of time. But it's actually, everything is now. It's all now. There's no past and present. Yeah, so we need to start expecting, yes, instant manifestations. So this is in relation to beliefs and assumptions. The thing is, once you are clear on the belief, honestly, when you look at any area of your life, you can tell what the beliefs are. You can look at your money situation and say, okay, yeah, clearly I have some money beliefs here. If you look at your relationship, maybe you have some patterns, you keep attracting certain type of men, then you can say, yeah, I can see how I'm manifesting that. You can look inwards. The key is awareness, bringing it into your conscious your conscious awareness. But sometimes when you're told that you're not enough as a child, sometimes you may need a little bit of time to change that, and it's perfectly okay. So this is where affirmations can be super powerful, because sometimes bringing something to your conscious awareness is not enough for you to change it. You need to repeat affirmations and clean up that programming and the assumptions that you've been learning since you were a kid about yourself. And you would need to say some affirmations. And this is how you can reinforce more positive beliefs, including I can manifest instantly. That is something you can affirm for, because like we've been programmed, things take time. And so that is a wonderful affirmation to have. Everything I want comes to me in a matter of days or instantly. When it comes to, so that's in terms of your assumptions. So it's clear there are some things in our subconscious mind we're not aware of. We need to bring into our conscious awareness. And sometimes you will bring them into your conscious awareness through the circumstances that you're manifesting, through the things that you're experiencing. Bring them forward into your conscious awareness and try to reinforce more positive beliefs through repetition. So anything you repeat into your subconscious mind becomes a belief. Just like when you were told from a young age you're not enough and you adopted that as true, you have the ability to adopt the same belief that I am enough through repetition. You repeat it enough times, you will believe it. And you will not just believe it, you will embody it and feel it. you will absolutely feel it. It's all about repetition, guys. When you hear something several times, you start to believe it to be true. Hello, Anu. Hello. Okay, so what is a faster way to manifest? Is it affirmations, journaling, or visualization? To be honest, different people resonate with different things. They are all tools. They are not required to manifest because you're automatically manifesting. But sometimes we need a little bit of help because of all the programming that we've had over the years and years of programming. So affirmations, journaling, visualization, all of them work. It's all about what resonates with you. For me, journaling, I could not do it personally. I'm more into affirmations. I love repeating affirmations, and I actually love to repeat affirmations in my head, not out loud, because I feel I wouldn't want to say them out loud. I don't feel I don't like doing that. I say them in my head while I'm doing my chores, while I'm cooking, while I'm cleaning. I might say them. Visualization is also super powerful, and the Neville Goddard teaches that before going to sleep, right as you're about to fall asleep, visualization is super powerful because it's going straight into your subconscious mind, and anything impressed into your subconscious mind with feeling, that's the thing with visualization, it activates the feelings more than affirmations. Unless you're really saying, like for me, I allow the affirmations to come to me and suddenly I'm feeling them. But if you're reading out a list, I tell my clients you can read them like a robot, they will still work so long as you're not feeling bad. That's the key. Neutral, no feeling, it's perfectly okay. Visualization activates sometimes the emotions, especially if you put music with it. So that could be super powerful. But they're all techniques. You don't need techniques to manifest. You're manifesting automatically. They're just there to help. And it's all about what resonates with you. So journaling is like affirmations, just writing out, this is my life, this is what I'm doing on a given day. It's like writing it out. And visualization is just, envisioning a scene where you have what you want. Moving into the second thing. So we spoke about beliefs and assumptions. The second thing is your mental diet. So let's say you're saying affirmations about abundance. I'm so abundant. I have a lot of money. I make money every single day. Money flows to me like water. Money is flowing into my life consistently. You say your affirmations, then you spend the rest of the day looking at your bank account and feeling horrible, thinking about your bills and saying, I don't know how I'm going to pay my bills. So that is your mental diet. Your mental diet are the conscious thoughts that are going on in your mind that are either in alignment with what you want or contradicting with what you want. So if you're repeating affirmations in the morning or several times per day, but then your conscious thoughts are going on and on about the opposite of what you want, then that is counterproductive. So your mental diet is also impacting what you're experiencing in your life. It's not enough to bring forth the assumptions. Now, I have to say that the conscious thoughts will usually be a reflection of the inner beliefs, right? So as you're reprogramming your inner beliefs, you need to be super diligent in your mental diet because it's still kind of active because your beliefs were there and they're active. So as you're rewiring them, you need to be super diligent in those conscious thoughts that are going on that are basically contradicting what you want. So your conscious thoughts absolutely can also manifest. Now, you can have a rule that says, I've learned this from other manifestation coaches, you can say my negative beliefs do not manifest. You can say that, or you can say my negative thoughts do not manifest. So you can set the rules. But the idea is you want to be in control of your conscious thoughts, what's going on in your conscious thoughts, in the active, the physical mind, basically. And your thoughts can either be pull thoughts or pull and have a pull energy, or they can be a push. They're pushing away your manifestation. It's all about whether they or not they are in alignment with what you want. You have to be super diligent with that. And most of the time, the active thoughts that are going on in your mind in a given day are your physical, based on your physical mind saying, how am I going to get what I want? How am I going to receive money without a job? How am I going to pay my bills without a job? Or how am I going to manifest a relationship when I'm not going out anywhere? How am I going to meet someone sitting at home? So this is your mind interfering with the how. It's saying how, and it's none of its business, because ultimately things will happen to get you to your manifestation. And I have a very good example of this myself. I had said that I wanted to do an event, a small event for my book, which I published earlier this year. And it was just a passing thought that I said I'd like to do that. And I let it go. I don't force anything. I learned to never force anything. And what happened was, one of these days I was at home, and the apartment above me was basically redoing the whole apartment. They were drilling, they were doing all kinds of things that were just so loud. It was like I could hear them shoveling rock. I don't know. It was just a horrible experience. And I had meetings with clients, so I couldn't do this. I had to leave home, and I work from home. And so the first thing I did was basically research some centers nearby where I can go, a co-working place. And I found a co-working space that was super close to home. I went there, and the minute I went there, because I had registered my name, they had looked me up, the lady at the reception, and they informed the manager of the place about me. And she came and said, "You're a manifestation coach. I love manifesting." She was all about that. And then she said, "We would love," it was a place that opened recently. They said, "We would love to host a book launch for you, in case you haven't done it." So that was like that had to happen upstairs to take me out of my home, to give me my free book launch, which is exactly what happened. And they handled everything. I did not have to do a single thing. They handled everything. They brought the people. I just showed up and spoke. So things always happen when you get your head out of the picture. Your mind, you have to think of it as a tool that you remove and you put on the table, literally. It's like when you go home, you take off your watch, you take off your earrings. That's what you do with your mind. But you need to do it all the time, not just when you get home. You kind of need to disengage with them. So this is for mental diet. The third thing is reacting to circumstances. So let's say you become super clear on what's going on in your subconscious mind. You're doing affirmations, you're watching your mental diet, you're making sure it does not contradict what you want. So if you're manifesting a relationship, you're always in a positive place, you're taking care of yourself, you're imagining the relationship coming, you're not sitting and saying, it's very hard to find a relationship, and you're not contradicting. Okay, so you have to be, your mental diet has to be in alignment with what you want. And you're doing affirmations so that you feel you are lovable, and that is how you will feel magnetic to love. So that's in terms of a relationship. The same applies to any other life area. So you're doing that, and then you have something happen in your reality that is the exact opposite of what you want. It's a negative circumstance, and you react, you get upset, you say, how did this happen? Why did this happen? My affirmations are not working. I'm doing everything. Why did this happen? See, this is where people go wrong with manifesting. This is the number one mistake. People think it's not working. It is working, guys. You have to be super clear on this point. There are three things that can be happening here. Okay. The first one, this is an echo of the old story. Okay. You've had the old assumptions going on for a long time. It's very hard to find a relationship. Making money is difficult. Finding a decent job is difficult. These have been going on and on and on forever in your mind. So as you're repeating new affirmations and you're being diligent in your mental diet, you're doing the work, it may not happen instantly. So, when Allison was saying there's the time factor, sometimes, especially in the beginning, as you're cleaning up what's going on in your subconscious mind, you may manifest undesired circumstances. And this is a pure echo of the past assumptions. It's not, you're doing great. Your role here is to remain unconcerned and say, old story. I'm not going to react. It's done. It's absolutely done. I know it's done. This is just the residual. Now, this does not need to happen. So don't make this a rule. But sometimes it happens. It's like the hot and cold. As your new assumptions are hardening into fact, you may see back and forth a bit. You may. Okay. So that's the first thing when it comes to undesired circumstances. The second reason why you may experience undesired circumstances, there are still some assumptions and beliefs that you have not released. Okay, so you need to go back inwards and ask yourself, what assumptions must I be holding on to in relationship to myself, other people, and circumstances in general to have manifested this undesired circumstance? It's usually something still there, lingering. If you're doing the work, you're really very conscious of your mental diet, you're saying the affirmations, you know yourself. I know myself. I know when I haven't been diligent. I know that, this undesired circumstance is a reflection of I haven't been consistent enough in my thoughts. So I can recognize, but when you have truly been consistent and you manifest an undesired circumstance, there's still something going on that you need to release, some belief. You can release it into your, it's actually that circumstance, you need to take it as feedback that there is something that you need to release. The third thing is pure contrast. So I had a client I'm working with who recently manifested this person, this guy in her life who is like everything in her affirmations. When she told me they were, because we had developed the affirmations based on what she wanted. And when, and then she signed up again to work with me, and she was telling me he was everything in the affirmations. When we got on a session, she was telling me about him. And then when I went back to the affirmations, he was spot on everything. And the things that she did, there were a few minor things she did not like about him. They were not covered in the affirmations. So this is contrast. This is things that she didn't think about, and now she's clearer that she wants this as well. So one of the things was she wanted him to be financially secure, but she noticed that he actually, he's cautious of spending too much. So that, he's someone who is conscious about spending wisely. And that's part of him being financially secure. And so we went in and tweaked that to reflect, okay, he is balanced, but he also has no problem spending. It was a tweak. So for her, this was contrast. This was greater clarity for her that, oh yeah, I want that as well. So it's always about one of these three things. Either it's an echo, or there is something you need to release an assumption, or it's pure contrast. And it's not about looking at the negative circumstance and being happy about it. It's never that. It's always about seeing it for what it is. That's it. When it's an echo, I'm not concerned. It's a residual of a previous story. When it's feedback, okay, it's coming from me. I have some beliefs that I need to release. When it's contrast, oh yes, thank you for showing me that I now know even more what I want and what I do not want. It's getting you closer towards understanding what it is you want. Because as you evolve as well, your needs change. So sometimes you will face contrast in order to get that clarity. Mubi, you don't have to keep it in. When I say reacting, sometimes you need to release, and actually some great manifestations happen when you release. It's not about holding it in. And also you have to understand that there's two things, okay? First, reacting to circumstances where there's something super obvious that's manifested, and you the key is to identify what it is. It doesn't mean like, okay, you can feel bad momentarily. The idea is not to stay in that place. The second thing is also not bottling it up, because even if you like respond to that, you're not going to manifest horrible things. That's the thing you need to understand, is that sometimes you will not manifest something horrible as a result. So yeah, releasing is perfectly okay, but it's the key is when people react when they're on the verge of manifesting and they see something and then they give up. That's what I mean by reacting. Reacting is giving up, feeling horrible, getting angry and yelling. But it's not about bottling up and it's okay, it's okay, and then it's building up over time. No, you need to release, and sometimes you need to do that. So you need to be okay releasing, so long as you're not staying there. So this is in a nutshell how we are creating in every moment. I do let me know if you have any questions. Wow, it's 38 minutes. So do you guys have any questions? Thank you all for coming on. It is Wawa, yes. You have to sometimes be okay with it. We're human. And one thing I want to talk about in terms of vibration, because law of attraction spoke a lot about you have to be in alignment. I think a lot of the thing that we kind of also misinterpreted the meaning there. The law of attraction tells you to pay attention to how you're feeling, because how you're feeling is usually a reflection of what's going on in your conscious mind. It's a reflection of your mental diet. So you can use it as a gauge, but sometimes there is absolutely no reason why you feel you feel horrible. You get up on the wrong side of the bed. Sometimes there are things beyond our control, like planetary movements, all kinds of things that make us human, that we need to be okay if we're not feeling that good. And it doesn't mean we're going to manifest something bad. The idea behind vibration, and when they talk about it in law of attraction, is being conscious of your mental diet, because your feelings, how you're feeling, represents, when you have a negative thought going on, you're gonna feel bad, right? So when you're feeling bad, you say, why am I feeling bad? Why am I feeling, there's this thought. Oh, okay, release it. So, but it doesn't mean that if you're having a bad day, you're going to manifest really bad things. That's not it. It's really just about seeing the positive in everything and doing the best that you can in every moment. So any questions? I hope you guys like this. Okay, if there are no questions, I will be wrapping up. Thank you, Fatma. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mubi. Thank you guys for coming on. Thank you, Anu. It was nice having you. All right, guys. Thank you, Noon. What role do you think focus or attention plays in manifesting what we want? Well, yeah, focus is also relating to your mental. I mean, it's your mental diet where you're focusing. It does play a role. So when you're focused in the direction that you want, towards what you want. So let's say you're manifesting a relationship and you're focused on having it, feeling like you have it, then it's a great place to be in. Whereas if you're focused on not having it, then it's basically your mental diet where your focus is. So either you're in a place where you're pushing away your desire or pulling it in. It's a reflection of the thoughts being in alignment with what you want. So they need to be in alignment with what you want. And being in the state of lack, wondering why you're not getting your manifestation, wondering when it's going to happen, asking why didn't I get it? Why did other people get it and I didn't get it? Why is it so slow? This is all focus in the wrong direction. That is a push energy. You're pushing it away. So yeah, that's mental diet. All right, guys, thank you so much for coming. And I'll see you soon. Bye.